Hello guys, and welcome back to another video at the Capital Traders Group. Now in this video I'm going to be covering my analysis of Euro USD, of what I anticipate for this week to come, and also my analysis on DXY, which is the USD currency index. So why don't we go ahead and get started. Now if you've been paying attention to the previous week's analysis, you would have seen that price formed a nice little rejection on a weekly supply level. If I go on the daily, right, we saw a nice rejection from this zone first here, okay, to the right. Then what price did this week, is this Monday, is it came back and it took out this high, which induced more buying pressure. So a lot more buyers got trapped in here because they would have bought thinking price was going to continue on higher. But then what ended up happening is we saw that little sell-off on EU. Now this is manipulative, mainly and this usually happens on Mondays. You see, the first move of the week is usually the manipulative move, so that's why I don't like to trade Mondays, which is a little tip for you guys. But in essence, when we saw that clearance of liquidity of the left, it gave me a clear inclination that price is ready to push down. Because now, if I just mark it out, I don't know where it's. All right, if I just mark it out here. So price is taking care of this liquidity to the left, and now it's pushed down. Now all is the only zone left is here, right? This zone to the left that was clear liquidity before it pushed up higher. This zone will need to break, and I think this zone will break tomorrow. I think we're going to see some sort of reaction from one of these zones. We could even come higher to this zone, but I don't think that's likely. But we'll be patient because I'm ready for both scenarios. But I believe the price is going to come up to one of these levels and then push down to the downside to clear this low and to come to my full target of 1.004. That is my swing target for EU this week. Okay, I'm anticipating bearish price action. The main reason for this is with cleared liquidity, but most importantly, I'm anticipating a bullish dollar this week, and I'm going to explain why. Now basically, we've come back and we saw that clearance of the liquidity point here to the left, right? Price came back. Think about the amount of stop losses that were placed here before we saw that big wick rejection, right? Price came back down, created equal lows, liquidity, and took out all the stop losses, stop hunted these levels before it gave that nice push to the upside. So what I'm anticipating now is some sort of pullback in price to this level or to even this level before we come back and push up higher. And another confluence for why I'm bullish on the dollar is this: we have price inefficiency left in this region. We have heavy bearish price action that needs to get filled in this level. So that's one confluence. Another confluence built is there is a gap in price, and I'm going to show you guys if you can't see it already, but there's a gap in price here, right? This zone here, I'm going to mark it out with a range tool. Right, this is a gap, and gaps, if you guys watch my video on gaps always get filled, right? One way or the other, they always get filled. So this is another confluence that I'm anticipating more bullish, a more bullish reaction from the DXY. So now we have these confluences built. You see why I'm anticipating a bullish dollar for this week, at least for now, because once we fill this region, my macro, if I push on higher time frames on the 6 hour, my macro is, I believe, we're going to come up into this region, right, into this yellow region, to then see our next push to the downside to clear all this liquidity here. So I'm bearish macro, but for this week I am bullish on the dollar because this is what I'm anticipating. Now if I go back on EU, if I just break it down a little bit clearer, now we've cleared that liquidity, I'm anticipating, right, as I'm anticipating a pullback on the dollar tomorrow, I want to see some sort of pullback. Now we do have this liquidity above Asia, right, which you see these Asia highs that was still not swept. Now price may leave these highs, but depending on how Asia forms today, depending on I'm going to upload this video in the morning, but depending on how Asia forms tonight, because it is 1 o'clock in London, I'm going to wait to see how price action develops. But usually during Asia, we usually see ranges, right? I'm anticipating something like this, and then we see maybe they say this is Asia high. We see clearance of Asia high, and then price pushes down lower, clears Asia low, and then we see that big push in London hopefully tomorrow. And the reason I'm anticipating this move to take place tomorrow is the last day of the month. Tomorrow is the 30th of November, and during and usually when you see these periods of trading, you see a lot of large volume enter into the market. Now, this is mainly because a lot of hedge funds are closing out their positions or rebalancing their portfolios. So this allows a lot more volume into the market, and it allows to a lot more bigger pushes in price. You'll also see bigger pushes on crypto tomorrow as well because the monthly candle closure. So keep your eye out. But this is what I'm anticipating: price to offer a pullback to one of these regions. Now, if I mark out the regions I have, which will be a little more simpler for you guys, is this. I'm anticipating, again, this will be much more reflecting on how Asia range forms, but I want to see some sort of reaction from either this zone. Let's make it a supply region so you understand. This region or this region above here, which is a bit of a bigger zone. But this is the zone, this is the more extreme zone where I want to look for sells from. So either price, depending where price comes into London session tomorrow or New York session, if we see that range scenario play out, and then we see that push in London, and then we see that push in New York, I will look for sells in this lower region for price all the way down to my target of 1.004. I'll look for shorts here. Will be something like this if the scenario plays out. Just to highlight for you guys, something like this. It's a much nicer RR2. It's about 330 pip range. Remember, we also have NFP, so all this extra news will provide the volume needed for such a push to come in the market. Because I am anticipating a 300 pip rate push to come on EU. So that's scenario one, and the second scenario will obviously be from the higher region, right? If price pushes up higher during Asia, and then we come into this region tomorrow, then I'll look for sells from here, which still offers a very nice RR of 1271 to 128, and to then potentially look for buys once price comes into this region. So that is my analysis for EU this week. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Feel free to subscribe, like, comment, do all the good stuff, and also check out our free Telegram group. I upload charts in there with a lot more detail, so feel free to check that out. With all that said and done, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.